All right, got this Germino hand-wired 50-watt Marshall homage in. Let's go through it and find all the mistakes in this thing, shall we? Because apparently all hand-wired amps have mistakes, right? All right, so it's a Club 40. It's got a pretty groovy-looking impedance selector switch. Very standard appointments there. Interesting. The master volume here, though it says voltage, I guess they could do this for a universal voltage as well, but in this case, it's a master volume. We'll see how badly they did that, right? And then some fuses there and an IEC, pretty standard stuff. Germino Amplification USA. Let's get this open and see what's inside. Ooh, dress washers. They're fancy. And what's the deal with this Tolex anyway? Is it black? Is it green? Is it black? Is it green? Can't they make up their mind? All right, got some F&T caps, some EL34Ls by JJ. Let's see, we got a JJ ECC83. Another one. And another one. How are they going to get the right tone if they don't put a Russian tube in V2 so the cathode follower stage can kill tubes? That's where, that's where tone comes from, man. Tone comes from pain. I'm sad to say all the hardware and sockets look to be of really good quality with pretty brass nuts everywhere. But let's see if any of them are tight, right? Let's get this out of the cabinet first, and surely we're going to find horrors within. Number 3 screws. Looks like I got to use the number 3 screwdriver again. My life is so hard. And this was tight, but not so tight that it's going to damage the Tolex. It's like they knew what they were doing. What's up with that? All right, let's walk this out of the cabinet. Let's see. Maybe they didn't use any shielding. Maybe I can ding them on that. Oh, rats, man. That's like high-quality aluminum flashing that's stapled to the cabinet. That cabinet, if anything, is overbuilt. Screws all over the place. T-nuts all the way sunk in. So disappointing. I can't be the bad guy. Well, there's got to be something hidden inside here. Let's find out. Man, it's really hard to see what's going on here with all the wires being so neatly and logically laid out. Let's see, they got greens on the grids and blues on the plates and yellows on the cathodes, as if having some logical system is important. Let's see. They don't even have a bus wire across the back of the pots. It's like the presence is grounded here to the back of the presence pot. The mids is just grounded here to the mids pot. The volumes are grounded here. How am I supposed to make sense of this? All the preamp grounds and everything over here and everything in the preamp is just grounded in this one place on the chassis. That's like exactly what the circuit should have, and you can see it, you can reach it, you can understand it. If something goes wrong, you'll know. You can make sure it's tight. There's another one over here that needs to be slightly separated, and it's using the built-in resistance of the chassis for that separation. Man, it's like they know what they're doing. And all the solder joints are neat. There's no excess anywhere. Everything was done with intention and care and just the exact right amount of solder. How are guys like me supposed to stay in business when people are putting out work like this? And everything's like straight, without any kinks or wonderings or glop or burn marks. They're just trying to make everyone else look bad. I think it might be time for a boycott. I mean, we can't have this kind of uppity work in our industry. They even get safety codes right. They've got like a special little ground just for the special little safety ground there, all by itself. It should not share with anything else. As if you can't tell by now, I'm kidding. This is a really good amp. I can't find anything at fault here. I can't find anything to fault. The only thing I see in this entire amp is this ground right here, where you've got the reservoir and the next two stages grounded together. My personal preference would be to ground this over with a phase inverter, but this is totally safe, and I've not turned this on yet. If it's quiet, this works as well. I've just found that separating that is a guaranteed way to get it quiet every time. This is the HD center tap, which is shared with the heater center tap, it looks like. And so I would also disconnect this heater center tap and put in an artificial center tap. That's my personal preference. I find that it's best practice. If this amp works and this amp sounds good, and I expect it probably will, this is a different way to do it. So that's just shop talk. This is not me correcting Greg or anything. One Germino, a Monterey, came to me a number of years back. The amp had been in a tornado and had been thrown out of the house where it was and found in a field in the mud under a tree like 100 yards away from where it had started out its journey. And it was down in the mud after flying 100 yards in who knows what winds. And I opened it up, and it had a bunch of mud that had gotten inside, and I cleaned out the mud, and some of the tubes had shattered because glass is glass. After all that, put in some new glass, got all the mud and dirt out. I found one solder joint that had not enjoyed the experience, and it was visible, just like these are, because you could see it once all the dirt was off. It was moving in the thing, so I reflowed one solder joint, and the amp was alive, and as far as I know, has been working ever since. When you build things right, when you build things structurally good and good in terms of the circuit, then things magically become beautiful because the form definitely follows the function. They work well together. When things are laid out in a smart way, they also become an aesthetic way, and they're reliable. It's like he knows how to build a really good amp. And he's not doing bus wire, and he's not doing esoteric parts. These are alpha pots. They're fine. Everything's just done very well. No muss, no fuss. The master volume here is the same Larmar circuit that I install in these things. He's using the PEC pot here. I used to use that. I found that there's no real benefit to using the PEC over the less expensive alpha pot, but there's certainly no downside to using the PEC. The main reason I stopped was not because of cost, but because even the PEC pots can develop noise from dirt over the years, and it's very hard to clean these sealed PEC pots compared to cleaning an alpha or a CTS. So I got burned by that. This is not a criticism of Greg's work. These pots are fantastic. I think they're a bit overkill, and if they do get any dust in them, it's really hard to clean them. But Greg knows his business, and I'm sure that if you own one of these and this becomes problematic, he'll stand behind it. As to hearing this bad boy, I'm still not out of the woods with the flu or whatever I've got, and I'm not feeling up to it today. And given how my ears are throbbing, I don't think I could take being exposed to the 40 watts, even with a good master volume. But I think as a thanks to everyone who followed the channel and have been so kind to me and been interested in what I do, I'll get one of the local pro players to come over here and give this thing a spin and let you hear what it can really do before it goes home to its owner, who's a very lucky so-and-so, if I may say so. When I can recommend an amp company without reservation, it makes me happy. And when an amp comes in, if I'm seeing things like this, I'm not being a negative Nancy. It's just most of the amps on the market are not like this, which is a shame, because if one guy can do them right again and again and again, why can't everyone who hangs up their shingle? But I digress. Happy New Year to everyone, and as always, thanks for watching.